Yo! Just made the turn, heading off base. Welcome to the afternoon edition of the Off Base Podcast. The podcast carefully crafted to remind you to suck a fat one if you think you're the only one, because you're not. I certainly am not the only one. I'm your host. I'm the Rocky Mountain no-name Jackass. It's 59 degrees in the city of Aurora at 4:07 p.m. on November the 30th, 2021. Very interesting afternoon. I'm holding my phone right now because I found out when I was re-listening to this morning's podcast, excuse me, that when I take it out of the coffee holder that I have it in, all of a sudden my audio improves dramatically. I'm going to put it back in the audio because I need to get one of those fucking things to stick on my dashboard and stick my phone in that. I am very, very far behind as far as technology goes. Very far behind. But let's see what we got going on here. A little traffic before we get off base. I hope there's not a backup of cars. Oh no, it's not too bad. Probably just a couple people yelling at each other. Get out of my way, god damn it. But yeah, very, very interesting day. I had plenty of projects to do at work, but it was quiet as far as new projects coming in. There actually hasn't been a whole hell of a lot over the past couple of weeks. The sky right now is also a bit strange, as it's a bit cloudy over the mountains. Ooh, another yawn. But all in all, quite productive today. So here we go, heading off base. And as far as what we got coming up for the kiddos, my stepdaughter, she's going to have a little Christmas concert coming up next Monday, I believe it is. Monday, Tuesday. She plays the violin. And my wife and I always loved going to those, whatever it was, man, when the kids were growing up. Like all the shows that the kindergarten, first grade, second grade teachers would put on, all those elementary school shows. It was so sad when the pandemic hit, because then all of a sudden all those shows got canceled. So it's like, fuck, man. Those shows are fun as hell. You get to see your kids up there just looking all cute. And of course, the thing that sucked would be all the parents sticking their fucking phones right in your fucking face as you're trying to watch your kid. It's like, dude, come on, you know? Even when you go to put it on Facebook, who's even going to watch that? And none of your friends are going to sit through that shit. The only people who might are the grandparents. But it's like, you know, find a fucking spot where you can sit at one of these things where you're not going to be in other people's way who are trying to see their kids, who are not filming every fucking portion of their lives, because it's, you know, a lot more fun to have it tattooed in your memory sometimes. Sometimes it's fun to video shit. Sometimes it's not. That's one of those times. So if that's the only good thing about what the pandemic brought about, I guess it's okay. The bad thing, of course, being that we don't get to see our kids do stuff like that. And my son, who was in second grade when the pandemic hit, he did his kindergarten. Excuse me. Kindergarten and no, he only did his kindergarten program because. Oh no, he did a kindergarten and first grade. No, did he? What the hell year is it? 2021, 2020, 2019. Yeah, they did it in 2019. They did it when he was in first grade, but he didn't do a program in second grade. And I don't think they're doing one this year for third grade. Again, because of COVID. But, I mean, I don't know. Our family has been extraordinarily lucky when it comes to the virus itself. My parents, both of them, were 79, and they both got it. My father had it bad, man. I felt horrible for him when I would be calling him up and just, you know, checking to see how he's doing. And I was like, Dad, don't even stay on the phone with me more than 5 minutes. I just want to check in on you and tell you that I love you. but just go and rest. And I mean, he had it for over 2 weeks, and it was rough. My mother had it, but it wasn't anywhere near as bad as my father's was. Hers was a quite mild case. Oh, God damn. Yawning like a son of a bee. But in terms of my immediate family, my wife and the 3 kids and myself, we haven't gotten COVID at all. Knock on wood, man. Which is a funny saying. We looked it up one time. It has to do something with like knocking ghosts out of trees. I forgot what the hell it was. Here I am about to try to inform any podcast listeners out there, and here I am not even being able to remember what I'm trying to inform you about. So there you go, fantastic. But no, we all of us have been very lucky in terms of not getting it. Now, we've all had the vaccine except for my 8-year-old, and to be honest, I think it kind of helps. Being somebody who has a doctorate in the sciences, organic chemistry to be specific. I mean, hem and haw all you want, but science is there for a reason. It's there to help us. And I know there's anti-vaxxers out there. We had friends who were anti-vaxxers. I get it. I understand their perspective. I really do. But if you don't want to get sick, take the fucking vaccine. Anyway, I mean, even after we got the vaccine, I was still wearing masks in public places, only because of how violent the virus attacks older people. I don't want to be responsible for something like that, man. If I can avoid it, all it takes is putting a mask on. It's similar to something I said this morning about preparing meals if you're on a specific kind of diet or you're trying to eat a specific way. And people complain. I've complained. Remember, I'm not the only one. But I hear people complain, it's too much work to do the diet, too much work. No, it's not too much work. It's work. It doesn't take nearly as long as you think it does. And it's the same thing with a mask. Just put the mask on. But by now, I don't know, man. We're coming up on 2 years into this motherfucker. And Jesus Christ, if you haven't had your vaccine, that's your choice. Do the rest of us still have to walk around with masks on? It's a good question. Good question. Anyway, I actually never thought I'd be talking about coronavirus stuff, specific coronavirus issues on this podcast, but I guess it's a nice thing to get to every once in a while. So, we got my stepdaughter coming up with a Christmas concert. That's how this started out. That's one of the other fun things about doing this is starting talking about a particular topic, seeing where the tangents take you, and then trying to figure out, well, why the fuck did I start talking about this in the first place? And we do it all the time in conversation. If you go to a party or if we have people over, it happens all the time. Like, well, how did we start talking about that? It's always fun to trace it back. So, speaking of diet, I drank a goodly amount of water today. I also had my keto coffee. I think I want to up it to 2 cups just to get more fat into my diet. I had 4 eggs when I got home. Only 1 tortilla that had about 10 grams of carbs in it. And I had my Italian combo non-bread sandwich, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Basically just eating Italian cold cuts. That's all it is. But it's simple. just get a ham, provolone, salami, pepperoni, and slice the tomato, fold it in half. We'll put some mayonnaise on there and some Italian seasonings and red pepper flakes. And just fold it in half and eat it. It's fucking delicious. I had that. I had my chicken and cabbage soup. Cabbage is amazing. I talked about it on another podcast, but I fucking hated cabbage growing up. Couldn't stand the smell of it. Now I eat it all the time. I'm like, this is good. Now I find out how good it is for your digestive system. I'm like, well, I gotta get even more. But number one, by far, the most important thing for health is regulating your hormones in your body, and nothing does that better than sleep. And I have been trying to improve my sleep over the past, I'll say, 6 months. Trying pretty hard. I slept okay last night. Like because we go to bed early because we got to get up early. I got to get up early. I got up at 4 this morning. We went to bed at about, 9? Yeah, so I got about a good 7 hours. I'd like to get to the point where I'm getting 8, 9. But 7's a good start. 7's not bad. And for everybody out there who thinks that they work better or do this better or do that better on fucking 4 hours sleep, yeah. Start reading the research. Start watching podcasts. Sleep experts. You'll find out real quick. You ain't the only one. You ain't the only one underperforming because you didn't get enough sleep. And don't think it won't affect your sex drive or your relationship with your kids. It will. It will big time. You need sleep. Go to sleep out there, people. Sleep hard. Anyway, so tonight's Taco Tuesday. Looking forward to that. I, of course, again, will have very minimal carbs on that. Probably only have 1 tortilla tonight. I usually make some type of street-type taco for me and my wife, and I'm gonna do a flank steak rubbed in ancho chili powder. No, chipotle. Ancho? I can't remember how I do it. Either ancho or chipotle chili powder. Cumin, salt and pepper, and then rub it with oil and let it sit for about half an hour or so before giving it a quick sear on both sides. Ends up coming out delicious with a homemade guacamole that I do. And for the the boys will have bean and cheese tacos. My stepson likes to have rice put into his as well. My stepdaughter, she likes the burrito. And I gotta tell you, man, the burrito was a fascinating food growing up because when Chipotle hit the scene, I think when I was in graduate school, so it was about 20, 25 years ago. And I fucking loved Chipotle. Get done working out and go grab a big-ass steak burrito from Chipotle. Oh, God, it's fucking phenomenal. But if I eat a steak burrito from Chipotle nowadays, that's got to be the only thing I'm going to eat all day long. Fucker's got like 1,200 calories in it. It's amazing how much we got to watch our weight when we get older, when we have kids. Never thought it was going to happen. I had 2 older brothers, and we all played sports. My father coached us basically in everything. And my mom couldn't keep the fridge stacked quick enough, man. We just come in from outside, just doing whatever, and just home, make a sandwich, eat a sandwich that had some kind of cold cuts on it. Well, one dish that my mom always made during the week, at least once a week, that I remember, because she used to get chicken breasts so cheap. She used to get them for maybe like even 50 cents a pound back in the day, son. She'd just take cream of mushroom soup and take huge chicken breasts with the bones already still in them, and just make basically like a cream of mushroom soup braise, and just put the chicken breasts in there and just put them in the oven for about an hour and cover it in foil, and just let all that cream of mushroom soup flavor just flavor the chicken. Oh my God, it's fantastic. Used to make it with mashed potatoes, of course, some type of green vegetable, and when you're little, you don't want to touch the green stuff. My son still, to this day, he's only 8, and he's gonna keep calling green stuff until he actually tries it and likes it, and his palate changes. And my wife and I, we're not ones to force vegetables on the kids. I know a lot of parents still do that. Well, not a lot. I know there are some parents out there who still do that. When we were growing up, of course, you couldn't get dessert until you had your green stuff, your vegetables. But nowadays, we don't mind, because it's like, good Lord, they don't want to eat it. Their palates aren't ready for it. We know that it may be good for them. I don't know. Here's the funny thing, because in addition to my mother, like that dish I was describing before with the chicken breast and the cream and mushroom soup, and then let's say she had green beans as well, she also would make mashed potatoes and throw 2 sticks of butter in there. So it's like, you know, nutrition-wise, yeah, you're getting a bunch of protein and you're eating green beans to go along with it. But if that were just it, that would be great. Because just like I was talking about with the keto diet this morning, if 2 of the potential energy sources that you're throwing into your body, carbohydrates and fats, if one of them is removed, well, then your body uses the other one. If you remove carbs, then your body uses fats. But if you're if you're giving your body a bunch of carbs and a bunch of fats, well, what it's going to do is it's going to use the carbs first because they're faster burning, and then it's going to store the fats. So you're just going to get fat. So it's like, you know, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Should you force your kids to eat vegetables now, even though they don't like them? You know, and you see those commercials where people like, you know, throwing cheese all over the vegetables, like, and I'm not just talking like shredded cheese. I'm talking like processed queso, Velveeta. Oh yeah, I put the Velveeta on and then my kids eat it. That's the same as fat people out there who are eating salads and then they're not losing weight and complaining. Well, what kind of dressing are you putting on there? How much dressing are you putting on there? You're probably putting like 800 calories of dressing on your fucking salad. Yeah, good luck getting thin. And trust me, we've heard it from people we know, and we've called them out on it in a polite way. Okay, in a polite way. So I'm not sitting here saying stuff that I wouldn't say to friends. I think that's important that I maintain that kind of integrity, if I got any of that on this podcast. Not to say anything that I wouldn't say to a friend or a family member. Family member's a little bit tougher. Not my wife and kids. I want to be as honest with them as possible. But brothers, sisters, parents, I might withhold saying something to them. Probably because the way in which we grew up, it was the sit down and shut up era where you didn't say much, so it might come out the wrong way. So there's often times where I won't say something. And I think there might be other people out there who grew up in similar situations. Just maybe. All right, pulling into my boys' school. It's been a pleasure talking with you all on this Tuesday evening. Glad to be back posting these here podcasts. It's good for me to get it out, and hopefully it's good for you to listen. If you're driving along, you just need somebody to talk to you. Something for you to hear where you go, yeah, I relate to that. Yeah, that happened to me. Well, then maybe I'm doing something. All right, I'll smell you tomorrow.